Tony Stark starts as a billionaire genius who doesn't care about anything but himself. He's rich, famous, weapons that he never even questions. He's also crowned the Merchant of Death, which he wears proudly. But this is a story about redemption, going from a selfish prick to a selfless hero. I hope you sit with me so I can explain this beautiful character arc. Before the video starts though, I would love it if you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 250 subs by the end of October. If we can make that happen, I would love that. Please and thank you! Enjoy the video! The first scene in the movie is perfect to show how Tony Stark is. The whole conversation is an ego boost to Tony, and when shit hits the fan, Tony focuses on his safety over the soldiers. Just this opening scene shows who Tony is and how he feels about others. They're side characters in his story, and they're there to gawk at him, but for character development to take place, you need a driving factor, and ironically, Tony's legacy is the factor. His first eye-opening is after he's captured by the Ten Rings. He sees his tech, his weapons, but in the hands of his enemies, seeing American soldiers killed by what he created. Now that Tony's captured, he's locked away in a cave with a man named Jensen, a scientist, who will also be the first leading factor into Tony becoming a hero. The first line that stands out to me is a character bonding while they're just playing games and messing around.
So you're a man who has everything, and nothing.
This line and a line later to come, in a way, made Tony reflect on how he's been going about life. He has it all but nothing at the same time. And that something means, like, something actually genuine, meaningful. The other line comes much later, as Jensen and Tony are at the end of their escape. Jensen, a man Tony let in and grew close to, dies in front of Tony's eyes. Jensen's final words,
"Don't waste your life."
Now this isn't the full turning point to Tony's character, but it is a huge shift. Instead of talking above the people, he lowers himself to the people, becoming vulnerable about his father. And at the conference terminates the further weapons manufacturing with Stark Industries, and begins his new suit. One thing I'd like to mention before we get too deep, Tony and Pepper's relationship. Even before the trip, Pepper is the only person Tony is actually engaged with. He's focused on her, and even asks questions back. You can tell that there's a level of care towards Pepper, even if it's just because she's basically his butler. It's someone Tony feels he can talk back to. But back to Iron Man. Tony makes a suit without telling anyone. He stays a low profile, which for Tony is strange. That's Tony's whole stick. Show off, know you're the shit, because you are the shit. In these scenes, Tony's ego stays to himself. Pepper's the only person who barely even knows what Tony's doing down there. Now, as much as I'd like to talk about every scene, I've got a topic to stick to. So after Tony discovers the secondhand deals this company has been doing, and that he's been made blind to, he watches news reports about the Ten Rings destroying towns with his past technology. We get a shot of Tony looking at his reflection, seeing the failures he's made, and in that same scene he destroys his reflection. He is no longer a merchant of death. He flies off to save Galmira. From this point on, this is a new Tony. Rather, this is now Iron Man, a real hero, a hero haunted by his past. But with this suit, he's fixing his wrongs. Iron Man is a vessel for Tony in a way. It's a way for him to take on those mistakes and finally face responsibility, which he does in some of the greatest hero scenes ever. Like, fuck, he's changed, but he is still so badass. After he saved Galmira, we get another line. Without Hit Top Films video, I would have never thought of this line.
I shouldn't be alive. Unless it was for a reason. I'm not crazy, Pepper. I just finally know what I have to do. And I know in my heart that it's right.
But this is the moment Tony's character has hit its full change. I like to imagine he thinks of Jensen, "Don't waste your life," when he said this. From this point on, Tony does everything in his power to fix everything, even if it meant himself, which is actually a great lead into the final act. Iron Man versus Ironmonger. Through the whole movie, Obadiah is a look into what Tony could have been, if it wasn't for the time in the cave, which ironically the whole ordeal was because of Obadiah. Obadiah is the dark side, and we see Tony basically fight that version of himself, saving people while fighting. And in the final moments of the fight, Tony makes the sacrifice play. Like some old guy would say, to lie down on the wire and let the other guy crawl over you. But Tony does. In order to stop the Ironmonger, Tony has to sacrifice the original arc reactor and at the risk of his own life. Obviously blowing up his father's legacy, but also he might blow up his legacy. just to stop Obadiah. He put himself and the Stark name aside for what he cared about. What he knew in his heart was the right play. Even if it meant his life, it is a perfect bow ending for his character arc. But because this movie is so great, the final scene at the conference, Tony almost doesn't say he's Iron Man, but he does. And I think it's a symbol to the fact that he isn't gonna hide behind something. If Iron Man messes up, that's on him. It isn't his company or whatever. It will be Tony's mistake. But you know damn well this Tony will now do anything to fix his wrongs. It's just beautiful, man. I fucking love Iron Man. He ain't no Spider-Man, but fuck. Hey, he's second. I give him second. But if you like the video, as always, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think and if there's anything else I should cover. But anyways, have a good day, y'all.